Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Desiree, the founder of An Empowered Woman and Homework. And Homework is where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. And as a business person, I've been in business since I was 12 years old. So multiple businesses. One of the things that either frightens or slows me down is paperwork. In almost any kind of industry, you have paperwork, whether it's from your clients, from your members, whether it's from if you do events, if you are in any industry, the medical industry, the insurance industry, the fashion industry, I mean, almost any industry, almost every industry, there's some paperwork. And so if I can minimize that process, expedite it, and have my assistant, work on other things like marketing and sales and business development instead of shuffling paperwork, I'm all in. So we met a young man, Brian McGrath, who is the co-founder of Boilerplate. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm excited because I was introduced to one of our colleagues, and it was kind of like, okay, it's probably too good to be true because I use some other document services, and I'm always on support because it's so complicated. I can't remember from one move to the other what I did or what I didn't do the next time. But when she showed me yours, it's like, okay, I kept looking for more pages. I kept looking for more stuff. It can't be this easy. And now you're going to take us on a virtual tour of how easy it is about your product. But first, tell us a little bit about your product.
So our product combines like a CRM for collecting documentation that lets you go out, send requests, the person clicks a link, submits what you need, comes back to you, as well as a digital filing system. So rather than having the old way of having to download the files, rename them, store them somewhere, track it in a spreadsheet, we do all that for you with a real-time dashboard. It shows status as well as access to the files.
All right, take us away. Because when you talk about files and storing them, now what's a big issue is security. Especially now we're going to have more documents that's needed after the COVID and just cybersecurity. And you said you have a solution for that.
Yes. So we knew from the beginning that we were going to be handling sensitive documentation. So we do, advanced encryption, 256-bit. Tech people will know what that is. Other people, it's like it's as secure as you can make it. For commonly used security. So we have that. We have firewalls. There's a number of internal security measures. We're also part of a program through the Department of Homeland Security where they do routine scans on our software for vulnerability. They don't put a guarantee on the product, but it's certainly a nice, belt and suspenders type approach to, making sure that everything's secure.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. That's a big issue, especially for, again, the medical or the financial or the insurance or HR. Now it's all this privacy, people are concerned about the privacy. That's huge. Okay, so we are at the overview. Yes?
Yes, we are. So we're on the overview tab. So this is what you see as soon as you log in. There's a 1-minute overview that you can watch. We've got a full user guide, which will walk you through each tab of our platform with a quick video on how to use it, as well as written instructions, step by step, depending on your learning style. We also have a chat widget here, whereas if you need to reach us, you can just chat with us. We're happy to help you. We'll jump on the phone, whatever we need to do to make sure you're successful. So, I told you, the overall objective is to be able to streamline collecting documentation. So what we do is we have people start out with, what forms and templates are you using routinely to collect from people? So generic forms are things that are going to send exactly as you've uploaded here. Could be a direct deposit form, an emergency contact form, an application. And then on the other side, we have recipient specific documents. These would be like a template for an offer letter or an engagement letter where you want to be able to customize it for the specific person that's going to receive it. It's as easy as you click the template and then upload the file. And then what's nice is you can put in versioning information so you know which version of a file it is. Or if you have a form one is meant for a single person, one is meant for a married person, you can have different versions of that form.
They're all time dated, time stamped like they are.
Yeah,
I see the
we have
timestamp.
timestamps in the system, so you can see when you're
Fantastic.
choosing which ones you want to use. They're time stamped. This can also be like versioning information as well, whatever it might be. And then from here, what we do is we go ahead and we create a package. And when we do that, what you would do is you would go through, you would select the forms that you want to include, any recipient specific documents, as well as any additional requests. Could be, we need your driver's license. We need your date of birth, and that can be a text input. So basically anything you need to collect, a brokerage statement, whatever it might be, you put that in there and then you save it and close it. So from here, we have two options to collect the information. If there's nothing that has to be customized, you can literally just create a link, and then that link can be pasted on your Facebook page, on your website. You can put it into a mail merge, say, hey, you want to get a quote? Click here. You want to apply for a program? Click here. They see the forms, they see the files that are needed. You can also send to a specific person, as simple as putting in their name, their organization, and an email address. Then you can assign a package to them. You would choose what you want to send them. And then if you need to adjust, the contents of that request, there's something a little bit different about it, you can add and remove documents from that request. You would hit the send button. They'll then get an email that will say, with your name and your company saying they've sent this request. From here, I'll show you what the recipient actually sees. So they click the link, they come into the platform, and I've already started completing some of this. But they basically see a list of, here are the forms that you need to download and fill out. And then these are the files that I need from you. I need your driver's license. I need your date of birth. And you would literally just click, choose the file, and in it goes. Now, in some cases, you don't have something. Someone might say, hey, I need a copy of your life insurance policy. You don't have a life insurance policy. So you can go in and say, the item doesn't exist. And then I'm not waiting around for something that's never going to be there. The old expression, if the phone don't ring, you'll know it's me. You're waiting on something that's not there. And then what's really nice, I'm flipping back to the requester mode, is each item that gets submitted shows up in a review queue. So you can see the file, you click it, it'll open, and then you can either approve it or you can return it. And if you have to return it, you can choose the reason why it's going back to them. I asked for your electric bill and you sent me a picture, of your kid with spaghetti all over their face. Wrong document, and then they'll automatically get notified, hey, this item's been returned for corrections. Here's what you need to do to fix it, or you can approve the item. And then what happens is we have a visual dashboard, and this is really our bread and butter to the whole product, aside from the ease of use. So you can see each individual person. You can see which package of documents you've sent them. You see their organization as well. And then you can see each individual file. So this is the direct deposit authorization. And you see, okay, it's been sent to them. It's been accessed. They've gone into the portal. They've submitted the item. We've reviewed it. Everything's done. And then the file's available for download. So you need it. You know exactly where it is. And then as an added little bonus, one of the most frustrating things when people would send you stuff and not put their name in the file. We used to do loans for municipal organizations. They would send us, financial statements, 2008. You're like, well, they're all in my downloads folder. Which entity is it? I still have to open the file and figure it out. We automatically will put the person's name in the file name. We'll put the file name in there. We'll put the date, the status in there. So you would say, demo recipient, direct deposit authorization, reviewed. So you knew it wasn't a draft, it was actually reviewed, and then the date. So you know that this is the exact file that you need. You don't accidentally send somebody a draft or one of those types of things. So that's the basic tour. And the beauty is that it's easy for the person requesting the files. It's easy for the person that's submitting the files. And it's great for the person that's supervising all of this because they can see everything that's going on at once.
So question, so you're able to see when they've opened it, is that correct, whether the glasses are? So, because many times people say, oh, I didn't get it, or what like that. So you're actually able to see that they've opened it, that they've received it and they've opened it, correct?
Actually, this icon with the little email that's been opened, once they've actually accessed the portal, this will trip and you can see this item is open. And then you can see here, this would be like the half circle means that it's in progress. Okay. So you can visually see. We also have the ability to add, if you need to add a file yourself. For example, you have a new hire, they forgot to send their driver's license, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna add it for you. And you can click this and add it for them. Just as an easy way to get things done. I love cross. If you can't imagine, I love crossing things off. Check things off
I did too. Check.
The logo, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we really try to make that easy. And that was feedback from one of our early users. She said, I have some people that just say, they just say, you know what, I just want to email this to you. And she's like, I'll deal with that. We'd like you to go through the platform. If you want to email it for whatever reason, you can do that. And I can still add it and have a full file for that person and not worried that something's sitting in a Gmail inbox somewhere. I remember
Going
the
to
email.
Dropbox, going to your your
Oh
folders,
my
going
God.
here and there.
Yeah.
It's just it can just become a real mess. And then the thing is, again, you're hiring. We were talking about that. You're hiring people just to handle that.
Yeah.
And so what's the value of that time for them doing it? And even if you get someone, this makes it almost foolproof. So
Yeah.
it's like almost it's I don't want, it's just foolproof, mistake proof, because they can follow the instructions. They don't have to be a genius to be able to do this, and to be able to keep track of it and keep it organized. All they have to be able to do is click, 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 click. And I'm thinking about all these different industries now, like whether you're a nail salon, you have to get their people, you're hiring people with licenses. You got to get copies of those
Hmm.
licenses to make sure it's current and things of that type. If you're,
Yeah.
if you're, again, whatever you're, even in hospitality, the short-term rentals, we now have to get a driver's license for security and this and this and this. So being able to send that, and then be able to get it back and just have it cuts down the automation time, the organization time, but it really just frees your team. If you have a small team,
Hmm.
it frees the time up, and maybe you don't even need a team because this is so easy for you to do yourself. You don't have to spend hours and hours doing
Absolutely. You get it. You see the
it.
value.
I get it because I'm not a fan of paperwork. And what I love about it, we talked about the pricing. You said it starts as low as $49 a month.
Exactly.
Tell us what that, and
49
that
months.
includes like 1,000. Tell us what, I don't remember all the
Yeah,
details.
that gives you a filing system for up to 1,000 documents. And then from there, we just work you up to the next tier. It's not one of those things where if you go over a little bit, we'll kind of nudge you and say, hey, we should move you up to the next plan. But it's not one of those where we want to feel that it's fair pricing,
Mm-hmm.
but also feel that you're putting a fair value in your time. I don't think there's anything better than saving people time. Giving them back time is one of the greatest gifts you can give anybody. Plus, I've been in roles juggling teams that were managing lots of documentation. I'm not going to lie. I had nightmares where I was stuck in Excel spreadsheets, trying to track this. And I'm going, where's this school district's file? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this would have made everything that much easier.
Well, exactly. Eliminating the frustration, eliminating the things that could fall through the cracks, because as humans and as whatever, things do fall through the cracks or get misplaced. But you're saying $50 a month. I mean, the average person. I don't know you can get anyone less than $25 an hour.
No.
So that's just So our system spend way more than 2 hours a month doing and tracking paperwork. So that's how I look at it. Like, what's my ROI? So
Yeah.
would I rather have something that's more foolproof, that's more secure? It's also secure, makes you feel secure, but it makes your clients feel secure. It's like,
Yeah.
I think twice about when I'm submitting documents to places, like, okay, where's this going? Is it going to you? Especially in the days of the fax or even emails. Who has access to this emails? Like, who's going to have
Yeah.
access to my social security or my bank statements? And in some industries, that's a given. You have to provide that information, but who
Hmm.
has access to that? Whereas if I know that it's in one place and it stays there, so if they transition from their their personnel transitions or their assistants or whatever transitions, then that it's still secure in one place. They can't really, take it away with them. So that's huge. That's huge.
Absolutely. All those things.
I can
Staff
tell that I'm
turnover.
excited.
It's a,
And you offer a 14-day trial, 14-day
yeah.
free trial.
Yeah.
So, anyone that thinks it could be of any value, tell us how they can
Hmm.
exercise that. Tell us what that includes or
Yeah.
what that's about.
So it's 14 days is unlimited use. Come in, start using it, do whatever you need. And then at the end of that, you'll be prompted to select a plan. If you need us to help, we do offer some additional services. If you need to get, fillable PDFs created of forms, we offer that as an additional service. We'll also help walk you through everything. We have an onboarding campaign. You sign up, you'll get 4 emails that take you through, some tips and some steps of what you need to get going. I joke that I test this on, my 66-year-old father, who's a semi-retired accountant, and I just watch him. You watch him over his shoulder. Well, COVID safe now. Watch him over his shoulder, but watch him use it and say, okay, where are the pain points? Where's somebody confused? Where are they? What do I click? So we tried not to add a bunch of bells and whistles. We intentionally kept this Really
Simple.
basic. It knows what it needs to do and it does it well.
Fantastic. So, Brian, in closing, what would you like to leave our listeners with today?
I would say, you're all busy. You all run businesses. Time is precious. Take a headache off of your plate. That's either it's a cost. You're wasting a lot of time, or you're leaving revenue on the table because you could be onboarding more clients. You could be giving out more quotes, all those things. And then, you reduce your compliance risk. Sleep a little better at night knowing that everything's where you need it. If there's ever an issue down the road, if there's an audit, if there's, government needs to look at stuff, whatever it might be, the lawyers need something, you're like, oh yeah, I got it. It's not an inbox of somebody that retired 5 years ago and is, living on an island somewhere without a phone. And you're like, oh, they're not returning our calls. You're like, I wonder why. They don't want to deal with it.
They're done. They're done. Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I just think it's like, for me, it's like, don't sweat the small stuff. And I can stop sweating the small stuff, and everything that can put off my plate and put off my support team's plate, I'm all for it. And especially at
Absolutely.
something that's that's that affordable. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
And I encourage everyone, if you have any questions, you're going to have all the information included. Feel free to contact them. We'll give you a link, get your free trial,
Yep.
try it out, come on board and spend that extra 3, 4, 5, 10 hours a week at the beach.
Or developing business, whatever makes you happy.
Exactly, exactly. Because there's never enough hours to do that. So there's always something else better to do than take chat paperwork. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I want to thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
And this has been brought to you by Boilerplate and Homework. And homework is where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. Until we meet again, stay empowered.